So I'm Sven, I'm the founder of Larian Studios. I'm also the game director on Baldur's Gate 3. So we're in Larian Studios, Malaysia here. So this is our new KL office. We actually exist now for 2 years. We started just pre-pandemic, so this is like one of the first times the team is actually back together. We have several roles here already of people. So we have our QA department here. We have cinematics, animation, art, cinematic design, coding. So we're trying to build a full-blown game development studio with all departments present. And we do that in the context of we have 7 studios across the world that all work together on Baldur's Gate 3. And so a large part of the way that we're set up is to be able to develop with the sun as the sun rises. What it allows us to do is if, for instance, we have a team working in QA over here, they start playing Baldur's Gate 3 in the morning. 8 hours later, they can pass it on to their colleagues in Russia. Then they can pass it on to their colleagues in Canada. And like this, we can faster play through the entire game and get our results back. And so that leads to a better development culture also. So at the start of the pandemic, everybody's information buffers were full. So development was actually fairly okay. But then you started seeing that they started getting empty, and so the communication became problematic. It was especially the communication that didn't happen, which was the problem. And you need a lot of communication when you're creating stuff. And so the inability to be sitting next to each other, point at the screen, do things like that, try stuff out, rapidly resolve discussions, started slowing us down. And so it's something I think you saw across the entire industry, actually. If you see the amount of games that have been delayed, I think it's always the same problem. It's just communication is harder. And when you're doing the Google Meet thing, it's also more intense. So we've seen since that people have been going back to the office, that the creativity, the efficiency is much higher also. There's a lot more energy also, because people have been locked up for a long time, so all that energy unleashing is a good thing for the game. So we've certainly noticed a slowdown in development, and we can certainly see an acceleration in development also now that teams are getting back together. So yeah, everybody here is working on Baldur's Gate 3. We are still actively recruiting. We actually just decided to expand our office, so this part of the office is already full, so we're going to extend into another area. So if you want to work for Larian, just go to our jobs page. We have our positions open in pretty much everything. So yeah, but it's been really good actually. I mean, the development team here has contributed in a very large extent already to BG3 and will continue to do so. So for the KL studio specifically, I hope that we're going to see all the disciplines represented here. So we have a full-blown game development team, so we are actively recruiting for that. So that we have pieces of the worlds that we are making get created here completely, from design all the way to full-blown cinematic implementation and testing. So that's it. So that we will grow to about 100 people over here, I think. So we're currently like 43. And that's going to be on par with all our other studios. The other studios are more or less going in that same direction also. We, in general, hire on talent, so we don't make any differentiation. Diversity has always been part of Larian's strength, because we are across the globe. So it's been a great source of inspiration, and it helps with the creativity, because you get lots of different viewpoints. If you're good and you want to make games, then you're going to get in, basically, that's it. If you're from the outside of the games industry and you want to get into it, the games industry or the games that we are making these days are so complicated that they require so many specializations that chances are that you might find something that fits your role. I'll give you a couple of examples. My head of production, for instance, is a teacher, right? So he's a teacher of English, but turns out that running a class is the same like running a game development team. So you have people who majored in history, right? So they find their spot in design. We have designers. One of the last designers that we hired turns out to be an expert in biochemicals. It's really, if you have passion for games and what you did before matches the thing that needs to be done in the game studio, then you'll be able to get in. What can I tell you about Baldur's Gate 3? How much time do you have? So Baldur's Gate 3 is a very ambitious project. It's very, very, very big. I think if you look at what was released in early access and where we stand now, I'm already very proud with what the team has accomplished. I think that I will be very happy when it's done, because I know all the stuff that's coming. And I think that when you're going to see that, you're going to see a really good rendition in video games of what's in that player handbook, which is what Baldur's Gate 3 is based on, the Dungeons & Dragons player handbook. And so what I think that the thing that I'm really the most proud of is how far we already come and how close we're starting to get to that. when you play tabletop or you play Baldur's Gate 3, the feeling, I'm not saying that the mechanics and everything, but the feeling is the same. You get the feeling that your agency drives what's happening inside of the story, that the story adapts to your choices. Obviously it can't do everything, but it does a lot of that already. And so, and we see that also in the playtest, and we get that also from the early access feedback that we get from players. So I'm actually quite happy about how things are going. So the moment-to-moment gameplay, feeling good, not falling into repetition, you know, like always having something different angle, different surprise around the corner, having a rewarding, being rewarded for your agency, your sense of exploration, your player curiosity, and then discovering that the game supports it. That's a very, very special moment, and it leads to what I like the most in video games. It's like, you know, when it's a good game and you start playing it, at some point you get excited, you get that little high because you say, oh shit, this is going to be good, right? And that's really what I'm trying to put in our own games also. And you only get that from that moment to moment where all systems work together, where the audiovisual experience matches the systemics of the game, matches the narrative quality of the game. So a lot of things need to be in place to get you to that feeling, but when it's there, it feels really good. And every gamer that has their favorite game knows what I mean, because there's always that moment, oh yeah, this is going to be good, right? And that's really what you're looking for. It certainly applies to the genres that I like, and that's what I look for in games, so I can't say that it applies to all genres. I mean, like, one of my little favorite games of the last couple of years is Into the Breach, but then you have other things that pop up where you say, okay, well, this is good, but it's not my thing. So for me, it's really, there are games that give me that feeling, and then I'm completely invested in them, and if they don't capture me like that, then I just don't play them. So the game that I preferred, there's a couple of them that were very influential. Ultima, the Ultima series was one of them, so I'm hard pressed to figure out which one I preferred actually. So Ultima 6 was my first Ultima, but that wasn't as good as Ultima 7. Ultima 7 was really, really good, but also Ultima Underworld was really, really good. That's the first one. They did the first person perspective for the first time actually, or very close to Wolfenstein, but I actually suspect they were the first. Yeah, so the first Fallout was also really, really influential. They were games that really triggered me. Baldur's Gate obviously was part of it also, so that was a big one. But then it's also StarCraft, Warcraft, the RTSs, like the early RTSs also, they were very big. And then there's a whole bunch of games before that, but those probably are the two main ones. It's the RTSs and the RPGs of all that drove me forward. To make a really good RPG, I think the secret ingredient is you have to have people that love RPGs work on it. Like, it's really that simple. I mean, like, if they can make the game that they would like to play, in general, you're going to get something good.
What advice do you have for up-and-coming Southeast Asian game studios who are, you know, just starting out, very small, budding?
So I guess it's like the most plain and simple of advice: just follow your heart, like just see where that takes you, and see, don't give up. Right, that's the hardest part, of course. You need that escape velocity to be able to make your game, but it's not going to happen if you don't follow your heart and if you don't give up. If you give up, sorry.
You guys are one of the few studios here to have like a fully equipped mocap. Tell us about that. What's important for motion capture? What do you guys do?
Well, we make a cinematic game, and so since we want to have a full-blown development studio here, mocap is an important part. It's actually a basic tool for our animation team. They can't do a lot if they can't start doing the mocapping for what we're doing. So one of the upcoming things that's going to be coming in a future patch, which I can't talk about, was mocapped here, and then when you'll see it, then you can ask me again and I'll say who it was and what they did. We have in the UK is where we do the voice recordings. So all of the motion capture that's happening for the talking that you see in the game, like me talking now, that's all being recorded and mocapped, because we fully performance capture everything except for the lip syncing that is being that's generated. When it comes to the gameplay animations, that's just spread across studios. Like the different classes are done in different studios by people, whoever is assigned to it, whoever has the talent, whoever has a local actor that can do something. So it's very, very mixed. Every single one of our studios has a motion capture facility. Because as I said, it's a base tool.
So you spent some time here in Malaysia. What are your favorite parts about the country, and what have you noticed about it?
People are friendly. Food is good. For the rest, I've been basically inside of the building, so I haven't seen that much yet. But those are the things that certainly stand out. Yeah.
Do you have any parting words to kind of give to your fans, people who are eagerly waiting for Baldur's Gate 3?
Be patient. We're trying. Yeah.